1 hour motivation, meditation, inspiration. If it's not one of the three, I don't want it. Let's go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and break into some quotes here. Let's go ahead and start putting ourselves in a way that we can get into positivity, where we can actually utilize the things that we go through, the challenges that we go through, so we can be who we want to be. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the Steve Harvey quotes today. So Steve Harvey said, "You are never too old to reinvent yourself." That is definitely true. It's definitely true that we can get down with ourselves. We can put ourselves in a place where we're utilizing our challenges, we're overcoming our challenges, where we're putting ourselves in a place where we're positive, and where positivity works in our favor, where the challenges that we face off against, we overcome, and that we get through them. So what kind of challenges are we taking on? What kind of things that, if we put ourselves in a place where we start to see the positivity, if we put ourselves in a place where we use the simplicity in our day, if we put ourselves in a place where we have the ability to reinvent ourselves, where we have the ability to, put things in front of you, like quotes, like growth is a series of mistakes, that only way you learn is through going through them, through giving yourself the process, by giving yourself the challenges, by putting yourself in a place where you have the ability to overcome them, where no matter how hard the challenge is, you start working through it, where you're so focused and so determined that it doesn't matter what's going on around you, it's what's going on within you. And so when you start to write stuff down, you start to read things like these amazing quotes throughout time, blessings. When you start to get to the place where the challenges that you're taking on no longer have an effect over you, where you start to manifest stuff on the outside, where the focus comes to be your tool, where the focus starts to utilize you as the process, where the challenges that you take on, you can overcome. And so a lot of times that's the only thing that we're really facing off against. Every time, actually, is that's what we're facing off against ourselves. We're facing off against, can you get up today? Can you get your day going? Can you put yourself in such a way that you can turn on positivity? Where the challenges that you face off against, you start to overcome. And so when I look at this quote, growth is a series of mistakes, that only way you can learn is by going through them. Are you recognizing that the time there to also learn from those mistakes is important? The time there to actually go through those things, to face off against those kinds of challenges, to put yourself in a place where you become that positive, where we give ourselves that ability. When do we give ourselves that kind of permission? When do we give ourselves that kind of place? When do we say, hey, this is time for me to start sticking up for myself? When does it start? What stage do you start to master these types of things? What stage do you start to put yourself in a place where what you have inside starts to radiate outwards? What you have inside starts to become a tool. What you have inside starts to become a blessing. A lot of times we're facing off against things and we feel like we have to hold on to them. Learn how to allow yourself to go through the process. Learn how to put yourself in a place where you can overcome your challenges, right? So a lot of the challenges that we face off against are in our mind. They're in our ability to see if we can do it or not. They're testing us on a daily. They're asking you what you've got, if you truly have what it takes. Are you getting to the place where you can fail so you can succeed? Are you getting to the place where your mission, your purpose, and your destiny will all be tied to one thing, your gifts? Are you giving yourself the ability to start that kind of mastery? This is Steve Harvey's mentality. And today we're studying Steve Harvey's mentality as our daily quotes, as our ability to see this, as our ability to start to recognize this. Let a man see what he can get, but make him imagine what he can have. Steve Harvey was amazing. This guy went through quotes in his mind. He put himself in a place where he truly wrote stuff down. And so the results are not a surprise with the mentality. Your career is what you paid for. Your calling is what you're made for. And so I see mental status. I see where Steve Harvey got to the place where he is. It's like Steve Jobs talks about. As soon as you realize this world was not made by anybody smarter than you, that you can achieve your dreams, that you can achieve your goals, that you can go through challenges, that you can overcome your challenges, that you can truly put yourself in a place where you can break through those challenges, as you work through them yourself, as you truly put yourself in a place. These kind of quotes are amazing. The more people you have you help become successful, the more successful you become. And that's what I want to do. I want you to see it for yourself. I want you to see it through you. I want you to recognize that what you got inside is blessing. What kind of challenges we got going on. Come on, let's go ahead and see what Steve Harvey has to say. The dream is free, but the hustle is sold separately. So you got to put it in front of yourself. You got to put yourself in such a place that you can achieve your dreams, and you can recognize the cost of them. You can recognize the cost of working for them, working through them, putting yourself in a process where you're utilizing it. I'm enjoying this. Men produce strategies for success. If you allow yourself to produce your strategy, if you allow yourself to go through your challenges, if you start to put a strategy down in front of yourself. Remember, guys, we're always talking about the ability to write stuff down. How super key that is. It's absolutely key to put yourself in a place where you start to master you, where you start to get down with yourself. Don't let your mind stop you. That's a key. You see, you can bypass those things that are telling you it's not possible. You can bypass the memories that say you can't do this. Prayer changes things. Steve Harvey was a great motivational speaker. I mean, this is who we're studying right now. We're studying these great quotes throughout time. We're putting ourselves in a place, we're starting to recognize that we can do this for ourselves. And so, as you start to see these types of people write this stuff down for themselves, do you think it won't work for you? And here's another one. I am from the hood. I never had nothing. Now what I have something I must give back. Are we putting ourselves out there where we're helping other people? Are we putting ourselves out there where we're giving as much as we're receiving? Are we putting ourselves out there where the universe is having the ability to use us? And so, what kind of things can you do? If you want to be successful, you have to jump. There's no way around it. If you're safe, you'll never soar. So in other words, if you don't give yourself the ability to put stuff down, if you don't put that ability to overcome those challenges, if you don't give yourself the ability to find that place inside of you, then what you're looking at is ultimately the ability for you to achieve that. It does not start to become possible to where until you give yourself the chance to. How can you give yourself the chance if you're not putting things down? How can you give yourself the chance if you're not recognizing the gifts that you have? Are you putting yourself in the place where you are a gift in the universe, where the challenges that you face off against, you start to overcome? You have to aspire to something so great that you have to have God's help. Are you seeing the greatness inside of yourself? Are you seeing the blessing that the Most High God created you for, the challenges that you go through, the things that you go through on a daily basis? The things that ask you if you got what it takes, if you have inside of yourself what you're going to become. And so if these people are writing this stuff down, what does that say about you? Don't let your mind stop you. So if you don't see it in front of you and you start to write it down, then you can overcome it. If you give yourself the ability, if you allow yourself that place, your setbacks are just setups for your comeback. And so realize that you can be positive. Realize that you can be in a place where you start to achieve it, where you start to become it, where you start to put yourself in a place where you appreciate this type of stuff. Steve Harvey, blessings and namaste there, Steve Harvey. And as we recognize this stuff, as Steve Harvey, put himself in that place. He achieved these things for himself. He put himself, what you have not because you ask not. That is Steve Harvey's mantra. You can only get what you ask for. If you put yourself in a place where you are writing it down and you start to turn it towards positivity, the only thing that's going to come your way is positivity. If you start to see how you could flip it into positivity, how you can start putting it in that direction, where you can start to become that, you can achieve that, your mentality can get there, then it starts to happen for you. It starts to happen with you. And most importantly, it starts to happen through you. So let's go ahead and start talking now that you can see definitely that writing stuff down is important. So what type of stuff do you need to write down? What type of stuff do you need to get in so you can start to see the positivity? Can you recognize that positivity is a universal aspect? The actual place that you see from can go greater than your own view. Giving yourself that ability to get that universal aspect is the ability to recognize that you can overcome your challenges. Is to be able to get to the place where you can do this for you, where you can get to the place where you can become it for you, and you can make it through it for yourself. Where what we have inside is something great. You are a blessing in this universe. Your mission, your purpose, and your destiny will be tied to the one thing: your gifts. How can you know your gifts if you don't put them down on paper? How can you know your gifts unless you start to speak them out? How can you know your gifts if you don't give yourself time to master you? Ask yourself this question. Ask yourself if you're giving yourself that kind of time. Are you putting yourself in a place where you have the ability to give yourself the place where you could become the blessings? Are you giving yourself the place where the energy inside of yourself starts to flow? Are you giving yourself the place where the mastery inside of you starts to become that? And today we honor Steve Harvey in that way, in his mentality. We put it in such a way that we start to recognize these people of the past. Can we start to get to the place where we recognize you? Can we start to get to the place where you recognize your challenges, where you start to grind on you, where your purpose, your blessings come through you? Wake up and smile. Wake up and be grateful. Are you grateful for the gifts that you have? Are you grateful for the challenges that you go through? Are you so grateful that it's worth writing? It's worth putting it down on paper. It's worth putting it in front of yourself. It's worth facing off against the challenges that you face off against on a daily. Are you putting yourself in that place? Are you giving yourself that place? Are you mastering that for yourself? And so are you putting your mind to work? Are you putting your focus in place? Are you putting yourself through the challenges that you can write it down? Can you start to see this kind of tool working through you? Can you see that you can turn things positive? Because as Newton says, for each action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. And you are that action, either opposite or equal. Are you putting yourself in the place where you're becoming that positive reaction, where you're utilizing the universe in such a way that you can overcome your challenges? Are you putting yourself in such a way that you are what it takes, that you are a gift from God, that you are a blessing in the universe, that the universe has the ability to use the gifts that you have, the challenges that you have, the things that you go through? Are you putting yourself in a place where you can focus in? Are you giving yourself permission to start to do that? Are you starting to see that you can overcome your own challenges? Are you starting to see that what drives you is you? That the things that you go through are in front of you? That the things that you have inside are there for you? That the challenges that you go through, you can overcome? And so we recognize this. We recognize these kinds of challenges. We start to put ourselves in a place where the mentality starts to have an able mentality. Start writing everything down that's going on in your day. Start putting it all in front of yourself so that you can overcome your challenges, so you can utilize the energy inside of yourself, so you can use the abilities that you have, the talents that you have, the gifts that you have. We all have gifts. We just have to utilize them. We have to put ourselves in a place. We start to master ourselves. We start to master our challenges. It's about today and tomorrow, not just tomorrow. It's about getting to that place for yourself today, getting to yourself to that place where the process starts to work through you. Another wonderful place is through diets. A lot of people see me on a daily with shakes in my hand. They see me going through the challenges that I go through. I want you to see you can do those things. It's up to you to what you take on. It's up to you to the challenges that you take on. It's up to you to see the outcome that you want to see. Nobody else is going to do it for you. No one else is going to stand up for you. No one's going to pull you up from that dark place inside and take you to the light unless you want it for yourself. You got to want it inside of you. You got to want it so bad that you're so focused that that is what you're going to achieve. That is what you're going to become. Those types of challenges have no place. They move out of the way on their own. The universe bends them on its own. That negativity is the ability for you to move forward. It's the ability for you to see that equal and opposite, and to see that opposite move out of your way so that the positivity comes in your direction. The positivity has the ability to work through you, but you got to put your tools that you have in place. You got to put your challenges in front of yourself and say, I'm going to turn these things positive. I'm going to put myself in a place where I become that, where I go through that. The dream is free, but the hustle is sold separately. Are you giving yourself that ability to see that? And are you paying the price to get there? Are you putting yourself in the place where you got what it takes? You know, when we start to see what it takes inside of ourselves to achieve it, when we start to see what it takes in front of ourselves to get down with the grind, we are truly putting ourselves in a place where we're putting our pen to paper. We're truly putting ourselves in the place where we're putting our pen in such a way that we start to recognize that we are the driving force in the universe, that the universe can utilize you. It can use your gifts. The Most High can use you as a tool when you recognize that you are that tool, when you recognize that you can go through those challenges, when you recognize that you are a blessing, that the blessings that you have, the process that you go through, the things that you go through on a daily basis are absolutely a blessing, that you can do this, you can achieve this, that you can become this on a daily. And so when we start to see it on the outside manifest, we start to put it down in front of ourselves, we start to see the positive and the negatives being written in front of us, we start to see how we can overcome it. We start to see how we can work through it. But you've got to be honest with yourself. You got to put it all down in front of you so that you can face off against it, because it ain't somebody else that's going to do it for you. It ain't somebody else that's going to put the process through you. It ain't somebody else that's going to do your homework for you. You got to do your homework for yourself. You got to put yourself in a place where you start to grind it out, where you start to face off against your time alone, where you start to face off against the things that you've gone through. And when you see it in front of you, and you see it that you can turn it positive, then the mentality changes. The able mentality starts to work. The able ability starts to work through you. And yes, there's going to be things that are going to be against you, but you got to be for you. You got to recognize that you can do it, you can achieve it, you can become it, that you are a blessing in this universe. You got to understand your blessings. You got to understand your mastery. You got to understand the gifts that God gave to you. But you got to see that you have to work for it, that it's sold separately, that it's there because you have to pay the price to get there. You have to be willing to work on it when other people would just give up. Other people would say it's not worth it. Other people would say, I don't know if you got what it takes. And so when I ask myself this question on a daily basis, is it motivation? Is it meditation? Is it inspiration? If not one of the three, I don't want it. And as it manifests itself, as it puts itself in front of you, as you start to see these types of things working through you, as you start to see the reflection of focus as a motivation, we start to recognize that listening to that stuff, putting yourself in that place where you have the ability to use that kind of content starts to become important. And that is the importance in writing it down. It's the place to be honest with yourself, to go through your own homework, to go through your own process, to be in that place with you. And when you give yourself that, when you see that kind of blessing working through you, that you recognize that you can purchase that part that's sold separately, we start to see that we can do it. But you got to put that mindset in place. And that's where listening to positivity starts to come in handy. Putting yourself in a place where you put positivity in front of you. You start to listen to these motivational speakers who have focus to that level. You start to listen to these people who have a reflection of motivation. You start to recognize that they could do it, you can do it too. If they could become it, you could become it too. When you start to listen to these people, you know, the Steve Harveys in the world, the Gary V's, the Les Browns, you know, the Tony Robbins, the people who focus to that level of grind, the Eric Thomas, the people who believe in themselves, achieve high levels of success because they have no one else to blame. They have nobody else to say, hey, this is my fault. I am where I am because I'm going to make it through it. I fell so I could get up. I fell so I could put myself in that place. I fell so I could become that kind of positivity where the universe has the ability to utilize me. Can you recognize with you to that level? Can you put yourself in that place where you become that kind of tool? Can you listen to that kind of positivity? Can you allow that process to work through you? And as it's going through, you're going to have to turn off the things that aren't there for you, that aren't there to help you, that aren't there to help you to achieve you. You got to master the one thing that matters the most, yourself. It ain't about somebody else. It isn't for somebody else. And so when you are going through things and people say that they don't know if you can do it, see it, achieve it, it ain't for them. It's for you versus you. It's for you to achieve for yourself. It's for you to set yourself down and say, yo, let's do this. Let's get on this. Let's go through this. Let's go to the point where the mind becomes an able body, where the mind controls the body, where the body becomes clay to the mind, where the ability to overcome one's challenges from within, where the process works through within, where the positivity that's manifested on the outside comes from within, where the places on the inside, if you look at the results, you look inside. If you look at the results, the reflection radiates outwards. The reflection gets to the place where the manifestation comes from within you, where the manifestation comes from your ability. It comes from your ability to face off against the challenges. When you don't think you can do something and you continue, the next thing that you see after you didn't believe you could do it is that you can do it. And so can you see to the other side of that? Can you hit that wall and make it through that wall? Can you put yourself in a place where you didn't see it was possible and it became possible for you? Because you are a tool. You are a gift in the universe to achieve that. The challenges that we face off against, the blessings that we have, the things that we go through are made for you. They're made for you to find the way to see the positivity in them, to utilize the whole situation so the things that aren't in your direction, they have the ability to move out of your way. They have the ability to get you to the place where you achieve it, you see it, you become it. But you have to master it for yourself. Nobody else will do that for you. Nobody else will become that for you, and nobody else will go through that with you. You have to want it for yourself. You have to want it when other people say it's not possible. You know, the person who wants to achieve high levels of success is going to face many failures in the process. It's recognizing that the process is a part of the success, that when you fail, you're succeeding forward, that you're putting yourself in the way, as Denzel Washington said, if you can see up, you can get up. So as Les Brown said, if they put you on your back, get up. Every day recognize as a blessing. Every day recognize that you are able to overcome your challenges. every day recognize that somebody else's things is theirs. You have your path. You have your journey. You have your challenges, and you can overcome them with you. You can become them with you. You can overcome them through you, and that you are a gift in the world from the Most High God. When you see the blessings that you have, when you see the capabilities that you have inside of yourself, that's when the universe asks you the question, you want this? Can you become this? Can you achieve this? Can you get to that level? And so it's up to you to answer back. Because it's sold separately, Steve Harvey. What a wonderful quote set you got here. What a wonderful way to be. And don't let your mind stop you, Steve Harvey. Because when we get to that level where things are put in front of our way, it's going to be up to you to overcome you. It's going to be up to you to go through it for yourself. And it's going to be up to you to find the way. Growth is a series of mistakes that only way you learn. If you don't have challenges to face off against, then you have no way to make it through them. So if you enjoy the process, if you actually literally put yourself in a place where you start to enjoy the process, then the results are not a surprise. Okay? The results are not a surprise when you achieve that level inside. You would just achieve that level of success. You achieve that level of challenge. And so, are we allowing ourselves, your mission, your purpose, and your destiny will all be tied to one thing, your gifts. You can't see your gifts unless you're willing to face off against your challenges. You can't face off against your challenges unless you're positive, unless you have a mindset that's in a place. And when you have a mindset, you manifest things around you, you manifest things within you. You start to realize that you got what it takes, that you can do things that other people wouldn't be able to do. And when you see this, when you give yourself this, give yourself the permission to fail until you succeed. Give yourself the permission to face off against your challenges. Give yourself the permission to get to that place where the mentality has the ability to get to the place of mastery. You know, we always recognize that positivity is a good thing. You know, but do you see the universal aspect that positivity is an equal action, and that the opposite action is there so that you can have the equal action, that the universe can work with you, that you can be a tool in the universe, that your challenges, the things that you don't think you could overcome, all they are is an opposite reaction waiting for you to find that positive. That's waiting for you to see that you can do it, that you can take that negativity and turn it into positivity, that your mentality can achieve that level where your focus can get to that place where what you have is gifts that the Most High God gave to you, that the universe can work through you, that it can work with you, that the mastery from within is a reflection on the outside. Do we get to this place? Can we go through these kinds of challenges? And so each person has to ask themselves that. I can't answer that question for you. You got to answer that question for yourself. You got to ask yourself, how can I turn this positive? How can I put myself in a place where I can get down with who I am? How can I get to the place where, I give myself that kind of time, where I give myself those kind of challenges? How can I start to see those in a positive direction? How can I go through them in such a way that the manifestation starts to reflect outwards, where my level of focus is such a positivity that it manifests itself, that the challenges that I face off against, I become the one who overcomes them for myself. You can do that for you. You can do that with you. You can become that through you. You got to manifest it. You got to really focus to that point where that focus no longer breaks, where that focus becomes a path, where that focus becomes your journey, where it becomes your purpose. And so when we start to get there, we start to overcome those kinds of challenges. Other people are going to say it's not possible for you. You know, and so like one that asks me, you know, how? You gotta want it, like Eric Thomas said, as bad as you can breathe. You gotta want it so bad. Eric Thomas tells a story about, the guru story, right? He talks about how this guy goes to the water and he asks his guru, he says to his guru, he says, you know, I want to learn from you. The guru takes him in the water, takes him up to his shoulder depths and starts to get down. Says, let's go out a little bit farther. So he starts to head out a little bit farther, and as he heads out a little bit farther, he says, okay, so what is this doing? I'm now all wet. Says, let's go out a little bit farther. He's up to about here, and so he's trying to swim. Guru takes his head, dunks his head under water. He's down there. He's fighting himself, and so Guru releases his hand, lets him up. He gets up. He says to him, when you want it as bad as you want to breathe, when you want it as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll achieve it. Eric Thomas, that's a great quote, by the way, if you're watching my videos, because a lot of these people actually do watch my stuff. So I want to throw that out there for you that I know you do. All right? I've seen it. I heard it in your stuff. So I want you to recognize that, I took that literally. I took that down to the point where my meditation was at a place where I didn't ask for permission to achieve it. I did it for myself. I became it for me. I did it for me. You can do it for you too. But you got to want it as bad as you breathe. You got to want it. Another great quote from Eric Thomas is, the difference between a gazelle and a lion. Back in time, there was ancient natives who traveled down in 3 different groups. As they traveled down, there was hunters and there were gatherers in life. And so when you hunt, when you truly get out there and you start hunting, your mentality is different. You're out there to achieve something for you. You're out there to be something for you. You're out there to use the gifts that God gave to you. You're out there to face off against the challenges that you have. And as Eric Thomas says, the true hunters hunt. The true hunters achieve things. And the gatherers serve the hunters. So you can either choose to go through that process to get to that place for yourself, or somebody else can do that and you can become their slave. It's up to you to free your mind. And so let's go ahead and start getting into this. Let's start getting into this place where we start to get inside of ourselves, where the true hunter lives, where the true challenge lives, where the true ability to get down with yourself, where the mastery inside of oneself starts to break that down, where the universe starts to work for you. The universe starts to work through you. And so let's start studying this. Let's start getting down to this place that Eric Thomas talks about as the guru story. Our breaths are an incoming breath and an outgoing breath. There is a center breath. You have 3 hands. Your body, your 2 hands. This represents you. You have focus and knowledge and a classroom. Anywhere you go, you are there with you. Any challenge you go through, you are there with you. So meditation, self-study, self-mastery, self-reflection, self-ability to utilize you, that's your classroom. So let's go ahead and start becoming that kind of mentality. Let's go ahead and start going into ourselves. Let's start wanting it as bad as we can breathe. Let's start getting down to it to that level where we achieve it within ourselves. So when we start to recognize that we are a tool in the universe, where when you want it as bad as you can breathe, that you got to master that incoming breath, that you got to master that ability to utilize that energy inside of yourself, that you can actually use the gifts that you have, your God-given gifts, the things that you can only you can do, that you could start to get to that place where what you're utilizing is the universe, that the universe can utilize you, that it can utilize your challenges, it can utilize your ability, that it can utilize your blessings, that you are a blessing in this universe, that you can turn that towards positivity, that you can turn that such a way that that thing that's not for you moves out of the way. So when you start to get there, when you start to face off against those things inside of yourself, ultimately what you're facing off is against you. You're facing off against the ability to overcome it. You're facing off against the ability to become it. And so when you start to breathe, when you start to get down to that energy inside of yourself, that place where other people ask me, how do you meditate? It's you versus you. Those people that come to me to learn from me, they're ultimately coming to me to see the tools that they can use for themselves, the things that they can use through themselves, the things that they can master for themselves. And so when you recognize that the knowledge inside of you is sufficient, when you recognize that the knowledge inside of you is there for you, that you recognize that you are there with you, the quote like Bruce Lee said, ultimately martial arts is expressing oneself. When people come to me, they're coming to me to learn from themselves. They're coming to me to master themselves. They're coming to me to work with themselves. That is what it's about. It's about getting to that place, to that mentality, to get to that place where you can study you from the third person, as Bruce Lee said. When he fights, he felt like he was in the third person because he was in the place of patient with himself. He was in the place of studying from himself. He was in the place where he was truly the student in the process of being himself. Let's go ahead and take a look here a little closer with the energy inside of ourselves. The abilities to stand our ground, the abilities to think, the ability to use our heart, to understand our heart, to get to the place where we voice ourselves, where the depth perception works and the nervous system works. Those are the types of tools that I teach people. Those are the types of tools that pick you up in the darkness, that tell you you can do this, that you can achieve this, that you can become this. And that's what people come to me for. The universe said, hey, it's time. It's time for you to start saying that you can do this. It's time for you to start letting other people know that they can achieve it too. That you've been doing this for years. That you've been doing this since the age of 27. I'm 34 now. I recognize this is my gifts. I recognize this is my purpose. Do you see the purpose in you? Do you see the energy inside of you flowing in such a way that it utilizes you? Do you see the energy inside of you in such a way that you become it, you achieve it, you master it? Master the one thing that matters, that student and that center classroom, so that the knowledge can come to you, so that the sufficient seeds of knowledge, those first knowledge, those crucial knowledge inside of you become available to you. That place, that mastery, that challenge, the things that you go through are such a blessing. The person that you are, the things that you go through, the places that you go are just waiting for you to read those chapters inside of yourself. They're waiting for you to ask you what you got, if you have what it takes, if you are you. Answer that question back with a light in the universe. I am a light in this universe who came from the darkness to the light, to the liberation, to teach of the light, to teach of the way to the path through your own knowledge, to teach of the way through my own knowledge, to achieve such a way that lights up this universe in such a way that it uplifts you, to uplift you with the gifts that I have, the tools that I have inside, the same way you have tools inside of you, gifts inside of you. I want you to see that you can do that with the knowledge, and that it's sufficient within you, that it's sufficient at a level where you can achieve it, you can become it, you can light up this universe in such a way that the Most High God, the universe, can use you as a tool, that you are a tool in this universe, and that you are a blessing, that you can achieve things, you can become things, that you can go through things, that the challenges that you face off against have no place to stop you, but to become a light from within you. Those are the blessings that we have inside of ourselves. Those are the things that we go through. And so, can we free ourselves from this? Can we put it to a place where the lessons open up, where the stories, the pages are available? So let's go ahead and start looking at how we can focus to that level to connect that knowledge. Can we give ourselves that kind of study? Can we become that kind of student? Can we go through those kind of challenges? Can we put ourselves in that kind of a place where we become this kind of light in the universe? Where we become that kind of discipline, where our knowledge and our focus create a light from within us, where our knowledge and our focus become that kind of understanding, where the knowledge and the focus give us the ability to achieve things that inspire, that hit a place of discipline, where your whole being is connected, where your whole being goes through it, where you are just a tool in the universe, where the Most High God can use the tools that you have, can use the person that you are, can use the challenges that you face off against so that you can overcome your own challenges. When one sees this, they see blessings. When one understands this, we leave blessings. When one leaves blessings and blesses others, the light in the universe has the ability to work through them. When we understand this, that we are yet but a tool in the universe, that the universe has the ability to give, and that when we give, we receive more. When we give, we achieve more. When we give, we light up the universe. When we light up this universe in such a way that the blessings come our way, when we light up the universe this way in such a way that the blessings work from our level of focus and our level of discipline, when we become this centered, when we prepare ourselves for our day, when we prepare ourselves for our journey, when we prepare ourselves for our light inside, where the whole being is connected, where the whole being, the knowledge and the focus, has a center within oneself, has a purpose from within oneself, has a place from within oneself, the relationship with the Most High God becomes that you are a tool in the universe. My High God, the God of man, the Alpha, the Omega, may I pray that those blessings are left upon those people, that they can liberate their knowledge, that they can reach that place inside of themselves and see what it takes, that this universe can become a tool for them, that the Son of God can work in their life, that they can utilize the blessings that you have for your connection directly with them, that you can see that they are a blessing and that they can become a blessing on a daily. Are we in this place with each other? Are we going through these challenges together? Are we becoming this light in the universe? Are we blessing other people just by our presence, by our journey, by our path? Are we giving the light the ability to work through us? Are we expanding in knowledge and focus to the level where the Most High God has a relationship with you, has a path and a journey through you, where other people can see it inside of you, that you can center yourself as a tool in the universe? I am yet but a tool to this universe. I am yet but a path in this universe. I am yet but a journey to the light through the Most High God. As we all are. As we all are lights in this universe, let your light shine bright. Let your light shine so that others' lights will shine, so that others' paths will shine, so that others' purposes will shine. May I leave a blessing with you to that level. Let's go ahead and talk about some inspiration. So when you become a discipline within the universe, when you recognize that this classroom is worth it, that you are worth it, that you have what it takes, that you can do it for you, that you can enjoy the process for you, When you get to that place where your set of journey, your set of tools, your set of place work through you, when you give yourself that, when you become that kind of light in this universe, the Most High God works through you. The Most High God, the same God that Jesus prayed to, the same God that when you close your eyes and you say, my God, the reflection is care. The universe was created for you. It was created for you to enjoy. It was created for you to become one with the universe, to become one with your path, to become one with your journey. It was created for you to see that you are a blessing and that the challenges that you face off against, you can overcome. Are we in a place where we pick up ourselves? Are we in a place where we use what we have? Are we in a place where we put ourselves where the focus inside and the knowledge is centered inside, where the universe has the ability to work through you and you become a tool in the universe? I am yet but a tool in this universe. You are yet but a tool in this universe. Are you seeing the tool that you are? Are you seeing the path that you go through? Are you seeing the journey that you're on? That it is your own journey? That there may be people who will join your journey, but it's up to you to have your discipline, your knowledge, your focus, that no matter what goes on around you, it's from within you, that the light is inside of you, that the challenges that you face off against are blessings, that you are a blessing in this universe. You are a light beyond what you recognize. You are a path beyond what you see. You are a journey beyond what you realize. And there are mountains for you to overcome. There are journeys for you to take. There are paths for you to recognize. It's up to you to recognize your path. It's up to you to recognize your journey. It's up to you to understand this message. It's up for you to see that light inside of yourself, to see that you are worth it, that you can achieve it, that you can become it, that you can overcome it. When we see these kind of blessings, that we become this level of discipline. When we see these kind of blessings where we achieve this kind of light, where we start to gain that kind of knowledge and that kind of focus from within ourselves, where we start to see that we are worth it, that we can go through it, that we can become it, that we can achieve it, that the light inside of ourselves can radiate, that no matter how many times you failed, you can get back up, that your focus is within you, that the challenges that you face off against, you can overcome, that the light inside of you can radiate outwards, that the things that you go through are meant for you to overcome. When you use your whole being, when you use your knowledge and your focus to a point where you become the classroom, where the discipline is, where the extraction of that level of light becomes possible, where the extraction of that level of understanding is there for you, the simplicity to achieve it is there, the simplicity for your path, for your journey, your positivity inside of yourself is there for you. When you recognize this, when you get to this place where you start to see that you have what it takes, that you have what it means for you to be you, then the blessings of the Most High God start to work through you. You are a blessing in this universe. It's that mentality, it's that knowledge, that sweet knowledge inside to achieve that level where that light starts to radiate outwards, where that light starts to work through you. You are a blessing. I want you to see this for yourself. I want you to achieve this for you. I want you to become this light in the universe that you can become. I want you to see that you can connect with my network, Motivation, Meditation, Inspiration.yoga. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Periscope. Subscribe to my networks. Hear the mentality. Let yourself ask yourself the question, does it work? Let yourself ask yourself the question, can I achieve it? Can I become it? Can I overcome my own challenges with this type of mentality? And when the light starts to radiate through you, and the path and the journey starts to use you, and the person that you are inside starts to radiate outwards, remember to uplift other people. Remember that your light shining bright lights up other people's light. Your light shining bright, your discipline, your knowledge, your focus makes other people's worlds lighter too. Uplift them as well. Put yourself in a place where you become such a light in the universe, where it radiates outwards, where other people's lights shine bright. Share this message with other people. Share this message so other people can be uplifted. Other people can see it for themselves. Share this message so they can become a light in this universe. Even if it's with one person, we gotta uplift each other. We gotta put ourselves in a place where we can do this, we can achieve this, we can become this. The universe needs you. The universe needs your story. The universe needs your path. The universe needs your journey. The universe needs the beauty that's inside of you, the light that's inside of you, the path that's inside of you, the journey that's inside of you. The universe needs you. Can you recruit yourself to be you? Can you go through the challenges that you face off against that you don't know if you could overcome? Can you become a blessing to where the relationship with the Most High God works through you? Because it can, when you put your whole self into it. When you put your knowledge and your focus to where the whole being is there. Where the whole being is with you. Where you are one with the universe. Where the universe has the ability to work through you. Where the relationship with the Most High God is, as Jesus said, I am one with the Father. Are you becoming one with the Father of the universe? Where the tools and the gifts work through you? Ask yourself that question. Ask yourself if you have that ability. Let the fruits radiate the light. Let the reflection come from the knowledge and the focus from within yourself to hit the place of discipline, where the knowledge and the focus center itself within you, where you are centered to the level where the light radiates outwards, where the knowledge becomes sufficient, where the journey comes from within, where the light hits the place of reflection. As you see this for yourself, as you achieve this for you, as you see the beauty inside of you radiate outwards, so will other people see that light shine. So will other people see that beauty radiate. So will other people see that knowledge as a reflection of self-love. As we achieve this, this universe becomes lighter. As we achieve this, the understanding becomes possible. The understanding that what is from within radiates outwards. This light, this knowledge, this path, this journey is for you. It's for you to achieve. It's for you to find the way. It's for you to find the path. It's for you to go through the challenges. It's for you to light up this world. It's for you to become the one that you choose to become. And you have to see it for yourself. You have to see it through you. You have to center yourself to that level. And so, as we hit towards the last 6 minutes here, as we start to see that we are a light in this universe, see the inspiration radiate outwards from within. See the inspiration utilize you. See the gifts, see the tools that you have, see the light that you have inside of yourself. See the purpose, see the path, see the journey, see the relationship with the Most High God. See the path, see the lessons, see the stories that have been written through time are there so you can become them for yourself, so you can find them inside of you, so that you can find that relationship with the one Most High God. Throughout the earth, you are a blessing. Throughout your journey, you are a path. Throughout your journey, you are on it. See, each individual journey is lonely. And people join us for our journey for a time. Do you allow them to for that time? Do you allow you to continue on that journey, on that path, on that purpose, on that journey from within to where the light radiates outwards, to where the ability inside of you becomes that light, where this message shares across the face of the earth and lights up that one person who needs this message, lights up that one person that is in that dark place that doesn't know if they can do it, if they can make it, that one person that people left and said isn't worth it, that it's up to you to see it, it's up to you to achieve it. And I know there's that one person out there who needs this message, and I am yet but a tool in this universe for the Most High God. I am yet a tool in this universe for you to see you are worth it. I see that light. I see that journey inside of you. I see that path. Take it, achieve it, become it. Let the universe work through you. Let the universe work with you. Let it become a light in this universe. Let it become a path in this universe. Let it become a journey in this universe. What blessings we are, the Most High God. What blessings we are. What path, what tools we use to find this place. What path we find that shut the mouth of lions. What path we find that fed many fish. What path we find that stated that you are a light in this world. And as the golden light radiates, as the enlightened becomes from within, as the journey becomes lighter, as other people see your light shine through them, with them, recognize those blessings are for them. You all have a blessing, you all have a path, you all have a journey. Can you see it? Can you ask it? Is it motivation? Is it meditation? Is it inspiration? Is it knowledge? Is it focus? Is it discipline? This is my path. This is my journey. And you are a blessing. Do you see your path? Do you see your journey? Do you see your level of understanding of your light inside of you? I want you to become inspired. I want you to see this level of discipline as a radiating light that lightens your load for you, lightens the load through you, that the universe can use you and that you can utilize it as a tool when you recognize that you are yet but a tool in this universe, when you recognize that you are a path in this universe, that you recognize that you are a journey, that the things that you've been through are meant to go through. The things that you've been through are blessings. When one finds themselves in a place where they have less, they find themselves with more because they find themselves. When we challenge ourselves and we're going through challenges, and we allow those challenges to no longer affect who we truly are on the inside, when we truly have what it takes, when we truly have what it takes to make it through it, other people's lights shine brighter. The Most High God has the ability to use the tools that you have, and you become the right tool in the universe to overcome the torque in this universe, to get to the place where the light radiates from within you, to get to the place where the blessings come through you, where the challenges grow, where you become this kind of light, where you become this kind of journey, where you become this kind of path. And so do you have a relationship with the Most High God in this universe? Do you have a relationship with this universe created for you that works in your favor, that works in your path, that works in your journey, and that you are a blessing in this universe? So as we start to get down with this, let's start to get to this page, let's start to get to this grind, let's start to get to this path, let's start to get to this journey, let's start to see this for ourselves. Let's start to light up this world. Let's make it a place where the reflection radiates outwards, where other people see your level of knowledge, your level of things as care, as a light in this universe, as a journey, as a path, as a blessing that you are. As you see these blessings for yourself, as you see